In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make easily and quickly high quality vector illustration graphic elements like icons, logos, flyers, really anything that you want using a workflow that I found, which gives you both the power and the flexibility. Let's jump in. So what are the issues today? Why can't you do this with one existing tool? The main issue is that if you'll use something like Dall-E or Midjourney, the text won't come out as clear and as crisp. It might even come out as gibberish. And the overall results are going to be relatively low quality. I'm not saying this might not change in the future, but right now, this is where it's at. You can use one tool to go ahead and do this. And so what's the solution? The solution is to use a combination of tools and a specific workflow that can let you do this in just a few minutes. So let's go with an example. Let's say my name is Michelle Scott. I'm a health coach, and I want to go ahead and make a logo or an icon for my business. But of course, this can be for any other use case. Maybe you want to make icons or logos or graphic elements for other people. Maybe you want to do it for yourself. It doesn't really matter. So the first tool we're going to talk about is Ideogram.ai. We were going to use this for the initial concept that you're going to use as the base. Now, why Ideogram? Ideogram is really the best in terms of the coherency and the detailed and the crispiness, as you could see from these examples. So we've got Ideogram.ai. And now we could just go ahead and enter a prompt to explain what I want. So like we said, I'm a health coach, right? So we can just even copy this here, a colorful and unique icon for Michelle Scott, health coach. Let's put on the magic prompt because that will even make it better. It'll take our prompt and adjust it, and we'll do an aspect ratio of 1:1 because we want it to be a square. Then I'll tap on generate, and we're going to see the results coming in. You're going to already see pretty good results. You might not even need to actually work with this or change this, but in our case, we're going to want to because we want to make some custom adjustments. And this is really the idea of this tutorial. It's to show you the full capacity of how you can do things. So here we got Michelle Scott, health coach. Maybe these results aren't good. I want to run this again. I could modify this a bit. So maybe a colorful icon for Michelle Scott that says Michelle Scott, healthy lived. You could even prompt it to what to say exactly. And that will allow us even more power and flexibility on the exact text that's going to show up. So let's see. Of course, you need to cherry pick the specific examples that you want, but you can just run this over and over again until you have a base concept that you like. Awesome. So as we can see, you could see healthy living here, health coach here. So let's use this one. I like this one a lot. And let's take it. As you can see, something looks a bit weird here, right? The pose looks a bit weird. So I'm going to just go ahead and take this. Can download it from here. Where is it? Download. And now we're going to move to our second tool, right? So we have the initial concept from Ideogram. Now we're going to go ahead and move to Photoshop. We're going to do touch-ups. And what is specifically in here? It's called the Generative Fill. This will allow you to remove or edit specific elements with really high precision in the image. So I've downloaded the image. I'm going to go back to Photoshop. And let's just go ahead and take this. We can literally just copy it over here and fine. Great. So generative fill, you can use either a marquee tool to mark a specific area, or you can use the lasso tool. And I can mark specific elements that I want to change. So maybe I want to remove this part in here because it doesn't look good. So if I want to remove it completely, I can just leave it blank. But maybe I want to say a woman in a yoga pose. Tap on generate. And now it's going to go ahead and modify that specific part of the image. And it's going to give me a few options and I can run this again. And like I said, if you want to remove something, just leave it blank. And if you want to add something, you can describe what you want. You can even see it gives you tips and so forth, how to use it. So in a moment, we should see results pop up. Great. So this is funny, right? It's actually added a woman in a yoga pose. So now let's try something again. Let's just delete everything and let's do generate. And that should now remove it. Should clean the image. But what's cool is I can add things. Maybe I want to add a flower. So we'll see that in a moment. So boom, you could see how it's already adjusting it. Over here, I could also see the variation that I could choose. So once I'm happy, I could just tap on V. And that's it. We have the layering. Now let's say I want to add flowers, right? So maybe I want to add some cool stuff here. Do beautiful, beautiful flower, and tap on generate. And that's how you can add specific things or remove specific things with the high quality using Photoshop's Generative Fill. It is the best that I've seen in terms of the flexibility that you have. And they're constantly improving the models. They just released a new model. That's why I'm on the Adobe Photoshop beta. So I wish it was a bit faster, but let's kind of see how this generates. Interesting. So it generated behind. I can also, of course, move this layer. So let's maybe move it to the front. Great. So now we can see how that goes in. And I've added a nice flower over here. And maybe I want to do another flower over here. Maybe I want to give eyes to this person. I could really play around with it, but and you could run a few of these simultaneously. So let's just do it again. And maybe we want to do that in another place. So we'll tap again. Okay, it does look like you can't run these at the same time. I'm assuming that will change at a certain point. Yes, probably, yeah. So let's see. Great, we have another flower. Amazing, we keep that here. And let's add just one more to make it a bit more. I'm gonna add something else. Let's just add a pile of exotic fruit, tasty fruit. And again, you can each one of these steps you can modify and play around with and edit as little or as much as you want. But this flow just gives you, in my opinion, the complete flexibility that you want. Okay, great. So there's also generative expand, as you can see here. But now that I'm happy with my logo, I can just export this. So let me do a quick export file and literally go to export, quick export as PNG. Let's call it Michelle. It's got icon 1. And now we're going to go ahead and move to the third tool, Magnific. So what it does is it does creative upscaling. It will basically take your existing image and make it sharper, make it look even better. Adds details and other things. So I'm going to go back into here. I'm going to go to Magnific. I'm going to add my image. So let's take this image that I just created here, right? And I'm going to upload it into here. And then I could go ahead and choose. So it even explains, it explains what you can do with it. Each one of these things, creativity, HDR, resemblance, fractality. And so let's go ahead and play around maybe with the creativity a bit, HDR. Okay, so maybe you want to add this a bit, resemblance, fractality, controls the strength of the prompt. So we can even add a prompt in here to give it even more direction. But in our case, let's just use it as it is. We just uploaded, we'll tap on upscale. And of course, we can run this multiple times, but now we're going to see what Magnific does, the before and after, which is cool. And we're going to see what the result is. It should leave the text untouched and upscale the other things, or creatively upscale the other things. So upscaling both makes the quality higher. If it's a small resolution image, it will, as you can see in here, 2x it. And it also modifies and upscales specific things in the image or the asset itself. Great. So now we're going to see the results. Awesome. Okay, so you could see how this was before. Look how blurry this is. And look how nice and crisp everything is. Look how the colors are crisp. Look how it added eyes, for example, right? So look how this already looks so much better than before. And we can keep running this again and ultimately get the result that we want by playing with it. So these 3 tools, like I said, we've got Ideogram, Photoshop, and Magnific. All you need to do is just understand pretty much these very basic functionalities of them, and you can have full creative control, as detailed and as specific as you want based on whatever your need is. So let's just see this last result. And I'll go over the pricing for these, but let's just see the results. Here's the other result that we have. And they're pretty similar, because I think we ran similar stuff, but it's not exactly the same if you look closely. And now let's just take this result. We want to download it, and let's see how it looks on the big screen. So, there is our logo. As you can see, modified these. It added the eyes with Magnific, made everything look a lot more crisp. And that's it. That's all you really need.